Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio, a mini episode that we like to call Short Eons. That's Eric Margaret over there.
Hello.
That's Vanessa Williams over there.
Hello.
Hey guys, well, we're all still in this lockdown, although it's starting to sound like this might not last much longer. The point of these short episodes is to give you suggestions of stuff that you can easily stream and watch at home. Maybe it's something that you've seen before. Maybe it's something you've never seen. Maybe it's something that you've always wondered about. And so we're going to sit down and say, hey, you should give this a try. But before we get to all of that, we have to have a word from our sponsors, and then we will be right back.
Introducing Lady Lovely Locks, her friends, and Pixie Tail Magic. See her hair flowing all around. Now it's up in a pretty crown. Lady Lovely Locks. She can change from a sweet young maid to a lady with glowing braids. How'd she do that? Her magic is the pixie tail she wears in her beautiful hair. Pixie tails go everywhere. Lady Lovely Locks Maiden Fair Hair and Maiden Curly Crown dolls sold separately, each with 3 pixie tails new from Mattel.
And we're back. Hey guys, I'm going to suggest something this time that you're going to think is a little weird at first, but once I get into it, you might go, oh, and that is a little show called The Sopranos.
Marriage, or any partnership for that matter, is a give and a take. We are a family, so we're gonna deal with this as a family. All due respect, you got no fucking idea what it's like to be number one. Puss, don't let anyone ever make you feel like you don't have any options, because you got friends. Friends that would die for you.
Any thoughts at all on why you blacked out?
I don't know. Stress, maybe. Is everybody in my life bananas or what? I got problems at work. I got problems at home.
Oh, for you. Kill me now. Stab me now, please.
You are his mother, and I don't think for 1 second that you don't know what you're doing to him.
Grandma just called, started crying and hung up. So what, no fucking ZD now?
Hey!
Not getting any satisfaction from my work either.
What line of work are you in?
Waste management consultant.
You may run North Jersey, but you don't run your Uncle June.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in. Our true enemy has yet to reveal himself.
I warn you, do not do it!
Oh.
I'm
I've
guessing
heard of that.
We're all aware of this show.
Is it about singing?
It is.
The song contest show?
The Sopranos is on Hulu, and it's on HBO, and it's on Prime. All 6 seasons are available to stream right now. It has a Rotten Tomatoes critics rating of 92%, and the audience has it at 98%. And it stars James Gandolfini, Edie Falco, and thousands of other people. And the basic premise of this show is about a mob boss who is dealing with his personal and professional problems in life. He goes to a therapist to deal with his professional problems mostly, which is very uncomfortable for the therapist. It is at times shockingly violent. It is at times very funny. It was created by David Chase. And the reason that I'm bringing this up right now is because right now there is a really cool podcast out called Talking Sopranos, and the hosts of it are Michael Imperioli, who played Christopher Moltisano in the series, and the co-host is Steve Sciarippa, who was Bobby, who was one of kind of the bumbling assistants. They're 8 episodes into this series, and what they do is watch. They have started at episode 1. They watch the episode, and then they talk to you about their memories of making the show. They have interviews with other cast members and stuff. It is a really, really compelling podcast if you're a fan of the show. And I was just going to start listening to the podcast, but they started getting into this stuff, and then they mentioned actors who were in things, and I was like, oh shit, he was in that, well before he was famous. And so I've started now just watching an episode just the week that they're talking about it. So it's really fun if you like the show. And if you've never watched the show, it was one of the shows that started HBO as this powerhouse series thing. It used to just be movies.
Yep.
So really, really good, especially if you're into mobster stuff, and I am.
Yeah, it's also considered, that and Buffy are considered 2 of the premier shows to push TV into becoming more long form stories as opposed to just
episodic.
Law and Order kind of start
Yeah.
and end shows. That's a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I never, I didn't see it at the time, but I remember people just saying it was absolutely excellent. So have you seen all of them now, or are you still going through?
Oh no, I'm just following along with the podcast. So they're only eight episodes into the, let's see, that's almost the end of the first season, I guess. So yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Well, I will go ahead and go next. Only for a limited time, which is why I want to bring it up. Shudder has a couple of films that are going to be leaving pretty soon.
I know you're all frightened at the moment.
They are frightened to death.
Crazy evil.
Everyone is dead.
I mean, that sometimes happens.
But it's a great opportunity if you haven't seen John Carpenter's The Fog or John Carpenter's Escape from New York. They're both available there. They're both incredible films. One is a little bit more kind of action oriented, and the other is more creepy oriented. I'll let you figure out which is which. Also on Shudder, I mean, I would just highly recommend checking them out, especially if you're interested in getting into John Carpenter and you haven't seen any yet. The Fog is where I started. And although it has a few plot issues, like overall, it's just a really, really neat film. Also on Shudder, if you decide to start going down that rabbit hole, they have Halloween, which of course is a classic, but they also have Body Bags, which is weird. But John Carpenter goes around as like a mortician being like, how did he die? So that's pretty fun. And last but not least, I also, when I was looking this up on Shudder, discovered that John Carpenter has an exclusive song for Shudder. It's the Shudder theme. And so if you go through and just look him up, anyone who's a fan of his music, I'm a huge fan of his music. I've seen him perform before. It's really neat. It's an exclusive track. So there's a nice little rabbit hole to follow down there with him.
Nice.
Yeah, cool.
Very cool. Okay, I'm digging deep on this one. This was in, I believe it was the 2013 Crypticon Film Festival. It's a film called Julia.
Julia.
Sorry, I'm a bit early at the train.
Are you kidding me? Earlier the better. Come in, please. You know, the moment I saw you, I couldn't stop thinking about you.
There were 4 of them.
You never went to the police.
Aren't those meant to suffer? I can help you. we play's little game. Seduction, blood, vengeance. She's physically taking our power back from the ones who stole it.
I was weak. I should have stopped them.
The funny thing is, it's the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
Julie, I'll do anything for you.
You'll never stand by and watch. Ever again.
This is available on Amazon or Fandango for rent.
What?
Can't say I've ever rented a Fandango movie, but apparently you can now. Rotten Tomatoes, critics is 57, and the audience is 19. I have a theory on that. I'll get to my theory on why that's so low. Written and directed by Matthew Brown, who hasn't done much else. Albanian gangster. Star Ashley C. Williams, who was one of the first film Human Centipede segments.
Ugh.
And she's also in Hallows' Eve. She plays Julia. Tanya McManus, who was in X-Men's Origins Wolverine. Jack Noseworthy, who's Idle Hands, Event Horizon, Barbed Wire, Alive, a whole lot of stuff. This is kind of a neo-noir revenge thriller centering around Julia's brutal trauma. So there's definitely a trigger warning for this film. It is a rape revenge film. Mm. There is reminiscence of I Spit on Your Grave in ways that it's after she has her problems, she meets up with people and they teach her how to kill the people that hurt her. It's subtle. So it can be a tough watch. It can be it's not as fun, I guess you could say, as Revenge was for that style film. And I think the bad ratings are largely because there's 2 or 3 words I saw mentioned time and again in the reviews. And I think an incel group or something got a hold of this because feminazi is in a bunch of the bad reviews. Ooh. So it's like a feminazi terrorist-like film is one of the reviews. So I was like, okay. Yeah, it's definitely rape revenge, female empowerment. Worth checking out if you're interested in that subgenre of films.
All right, guys, there you go. 3 very different suggestions as usual. And hope that you guys are digging these. We'll keep doing them as long as everybody's stuck in lockdown. So we will be back. I think that we've got another one of these before our next real one. I can never remember how these pop out.
There'll be this, and then a regular, and then another short.
Okay. So we will see you in just a couple of days with a actual full-length episode of Strange Eons Radio. Great to see everybody. See you later.
Our podcast is recorded at Eric's house, and Vanessa's house, and Kelly's house, and is engineered and edited by Eric Morgret. Our theme music is Strange Eons Part 1 by the band Nightshade and is used with permission. Find Strange Eons Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever fine podcasts are found.